Okay, well, we'll move on to another conversation now. It's about the Ekiti Assembly leadership tussle. Following the impeachment of Gboyega Aribisogan, who spent 6 days in office, Olubunmi Adelugba, lawmaker representing Emure Constituency in Ekiti State Assembly, has been elected the Speaker. The Assembly complex has been embroiled in a controversy after the death of the former Speaker, Funminiyi Afuye. The former Speaker had earlier accused former Governor Kayode Fayemi of plotting to oust him. But that's the story, and Femi Emmanuel is still right here with us to look into this particular matter. First, let's have your reaction to what happened to him.
I will love to be very careful with my use of words, but sincerely, every governor, irrespective of how loyal you are to your predecessor, there's a need for you to be in control of the House of Assembly. That's something, in all fairness to the achievements of every Lagos State governor, that's only one thing that is outside the control of every Lagos State governor, and that's why Anambody could not get back. The state House of Assembly, they are actually the representatives from every constituency, state constituencies, and there's a need for the governor to be in charge. There's a need for the governor to have an eye, not just have an eye, have a say, have an influence, have a way of influencing their votes, because these guys can impeach you. So I saw this coming, even though I didn't know that a female will emerge, and I think I love that part. I love that part. I know he will campaign later that women inclusion and all of this, and women love to hear things like this. Apologies to you though.
Well, let me take you on quickly. She is the first female speaker of Ekiti State, by the way, in history, but we'll delve into all of that. And when you say the governor should have influence and have a say, an eye in the legislative arm of government, there are those who will tell you that's not, the core of democracy in terms of separation of powers. That as much as, all arms are equal, they should also be independent in terms of how they discharge their duties. And if the legislative arm can't even dictate its own leadership, how does that make it, independent of the executive arm?
You see, my take is some of these things are easier said than done.
Okay.
Look at 2015 when President Muhammad Buhari said he will work with anybody, he belongs to anybody and nobody, yeah. And refused to play the politics for the National Assembly. Mm-hmm. We all know what happened. You saw how Saraki and the likes actually they refused to assent certain things. They turned down several not because you really need because you really want to be influential on their decisions, but because you really need people that you can bring to the table, talk about issues. Oh, what's your take? Oh, you discuss about issues, you agree on you are on the same page, and they go back to find a way to implement whatever you have agreed, so that the masses won't suffer. Look at the Lagos Ibadan. So there were quite a lot of allocations that were cut down by the Saraki administration in the name of saving costs, but they didn't cut down their own expenses. So I don't we're talking about state assembly at the moment, but I just feel that irrespective of how much we want these people separation of powers, you need people. See, people will first love you before they can trust your policy. See, there's this KLT factor: know, love and trust. You can't work with someone you don't trust.
But I think that's an indictment on the caliber of people we're voting in. If we have a governor who, to a very large extent understands governance and is ready to do that, and then we have members of the House who are also keen on development, who are keen on, good governance, should it matter whether or not they have some form of collision or some form of agreements with the governor? Is it what is important, the fact that we want to make laws that will favor the people? Shouldn't that be the priority?
While I agree with your position that the masses should actually be a priority, don't forget that some of these people actually spent so much or probably sold some of their properties to actually win election. Election is expensive in Nigeria. I won't. Some of us are supposed to be. Some of us are supposed to be legislating, but we know how much we've lost. Elections are expensive in Nigeria, and it's a winner-take-all mentality, like I said. So as soon as you win election, the next thing is you probably want to recoup whatever you have spent. Now, that aside, we have people who look into, who see their immediate families benefiting, stomach infrastructure, like His Excellency Fayose will love to say, as a way of getting the masses to feel their impact. My place, where I stay, by God's grace, the landlord association, we had a meeting, and then funny enough, we're supposed to do the drainage in partnership with our LCDA. But you know the funniest thing, because it's going to affect the shops certain landlords have actually built on those walkways, they turned down the offer and accepted something else instead of we partnering with the LCDA to actually fix the drainage. So that's the masses. How will you? I'm just using that as an innocent example. That's how people think, because they feel. Do you know how much they make annually from that? Yeah. Some of them have retired, and that's their probably only means of livelihood. But they sabotage the development of the community because of their own income.
Even if they're vulnerable to flooding.
We are vulnerable to flooding. I don't want to mention the community.
You don't even have to, but this.
That's why I said terrible. Even if they are vulnerable to flooding.
So it's like I just give that as these are people that they don't even use money to contest or even win elections.
If I want to continue that conversation with you, I'll ask, what was the town planning or whatever department or whatever agency that's in charge? What were they doing when those people built on the way?
So many people don't apply due diligence when you buy landed properties, and some people, probably parents handed over from parents, and they just started building. They don't, just put up. We have this mentality where you just put up a structure and you just want to be a landlord for the sake of being a landlord without all of this. Some people don't want to pay governments the tenement rates and all this necessary stuff. See, I know gradually, and these are the same people that will cost the government as soon as they come to. Another government will come that will actually fix that stuff. But that aside, answering the question, I've come to realize that as a leader, you must have your eye and have your people in different sectors to get feedbacks. See, one of the reasons why it looks as if leaders are surrounded by sycophants, and why it looks as if they are not in touch with the reality, is because they don't really have an eye everywhere. As a governor, as a sitting governor in the house, the judiciary, you must have an eye. You must have people there to give you feedback, to help to why do the president have essay or national assemblies of that will lobby the National Assembly before they even pass bill? The executive can also write and send. So all of these things, irrespective of how independent they seem to be, there's a need for them to actually work together. And the only way they can work together is the KLT factor. Those you know, those you love, and those you trust. It does not come in a reverse order, actually.
Okay, but looking at that of Ekiti now, it's the allegations from the erstwhile speaker now that it's even the former governor, not the incumbent, that is perpetrating all of these leadership crises within the House of Assembly there. He talked about, having a meeting with Fayemi and, others at the former governor's home, where he, stated his desire that the new speaker should be the one, at the time. But they went back and they had a level playing field, as it were, where he emerged victorious, 15-10 votes, against the new speaker now. But within 6 days, magic happened, as it were. Now, the current speaker, Olubunmi, is saying the former election that brought about, Adelugba was even riddled with malpractices and what have you. And the question is, how transparent was it? How, what were the wrongs that were carried out or perpetrated during that election that required, the suspension of 8 other members, wherein 17 now unanimously voted her in?
Politics, even at the last minute, can change. I've learned a lot. And that's why I feel sorry for some of the candidates that are being carried away via social media noise, and you know, people will hail you till you spend your last kobo, and at the last minute when you have nothing to spend, they will they will just switch and go for the ISB, and you will lick your wounds for the next 4 years. I'm talking from experience. It's so annoying. So now coming to the internal play, political play. See, the sitting governor may pretend like he does not know what is happening, or like he's willing to work with any factions. But the truth is, I wouldn't fire me before the primary elections of the APC presidency or presidential candidate. Imagine, had a lot of stuff, controversies around him. I know Dr. Fayemi very well, and he's highly cerebral. So be that as it may, my position is, this is not the first time things like this is playing out. I just hope that the lady, the new speaker who has emerged can probably, because that's the first time in history, because she should not. Well, she has the majority at the moment. Looking at what happened, I mean, 8 are suspended. Yes. So I'm just. If you look at Edo State, Edo State, do you know those guys have not actually sat? No, 14. 14 of them. Yeah, see, I'm just trying to say it's not new in our policy. And if those guys don't, if the governor does not intervene, those guys may not sit for the rest of the governor's tenure. If they are not careful, it's happening in Edo State and nobody is saying anything. Nobody. The governor said he wants to demolish. See, governors. Nigerian politics is funny, but I want to say that we are not where we used to be. It's an emerging thing, and until some of us, the young bloods, actually begin to come off stage, we may continue to see a repeat of all of these theatrics. When some of us come, we will still bring in new tricks also. It's just like that. But isn't this, I mean, if the allegations are true that it's the former governor, not even the sitting governor, that is carrying out all of these, activities, isn't this godfatherism to a different level entirely? Oftentimes, when it comes to godfatherism within state politics, what you have is, a former governor influencing the election rather of a governor in that state, but you really don't have that extension to legislative arm, the legislative arm. Well, maybe for one state, but most times it's not that way in Nigerian politics. So isn't this a new dimension to godfatherism, as it were, if those allegations are true? I want to say that for now, I have reasons to believe that the sitting governor, I have my facts, but it's not time to let out all of those stuffs from the bag at the moment. I have reasons to believe that the sitting governor is playing his cards well. And look at the fallout between Oshiomhole and Obaseki. I can keep mentioning several examples like that. You will find out that there's a need for the sitting governor to have some stakes, so that he does not wake up one day and find himself impeached. So I am of the opinion, even though I know that he has also retained some of the appointees from the previous administration, which is a good one, but I have reasons to believe that he is playing certain cards to ensure that he secures his position and to be able to actually have a firm grip on the state. That's my position at the moment. It does not mean that I think Dr. Fayemi does not have an influence, but I just think it is part of the power play. I just feel it's part of the power play.
What about the allegation leveled? That's the new speaker now, who was talking about malpractice and all of that. What do you think about that?
They will always come up with reasons to justify whatever actions that they have taken. This is not the first time some of us are. In fact, I'm surprised that the allegations are actually that mild. So with time,
well, within 6 days, what else? What could I mean, there won't be enough time to come up with.
So there won't be time to come up with. Yes. So, well, I just feel all of this is just politics and pulling tricks.
We serve the people at the end of the day.
hopefully.
If this goes to the court, how do you think it plays out in terms of legal battle?
Well, they no longer have a majority. So I just hope the PDP that had a majority did not even do well in the court. See, we can secure a perpetual injunction to just throw them. See, the court is not even the right place for now, even though they can seek justice by the judiciary. But I think the people that play these cards already foresee. I've learned from 48 laws of power that before you take a move, before you take a first step, plan your first 10 steps. So it's only people that react to reflex that will only react because of your first step and assume that you haven't planned your 10 steps ahead. So if they just go to the what do you think the likes of quite a lot of allegations about the candidate of the APC, and look at if you think he didn't foresee some of these things, look at how some of them are retracting and doing all this, because you have to be, when you're a strategist, you have to be able to foresee certain things. In fact, intentionally set those traps, let people walk into those traps, pick someone as a scapegoat, deal with the person, and you make other people go into hiding.
All right, I think this is a good place to end the conversation. Thank you so much, Femi Emmanuel, for coming on the show and for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a wonderful time with you.
Absolutely.
As usual.
We'll take a commercial break now. When we come back, the conversation continues on iBrandTV. Stay with us.